Hello there. Welcome back for day 2 of our Find the Good challenge. So glad you clicked play and that you are back here with me for another day of finding the good and putting all those positive deposits into how we feel and think about our husbands. So I want you to do something. I want you to imagine a little boy in front of you. And the little boy can be whatever age you find is just like adorable. For me, it's like the 2, 3, 4 year old age. But for you, maybe it's like 6, 7, 8. But just imagine a little boy. And you have asked him to do something for you. And he's going around doing it, but he's making like 1,000 mistakes, right? Like everything is just falling apart, not going the right way. He's making more of a mess of things than you would like, but he's doing his best. And as he's going about whatever it is you've asked him to do, he keeps looking at you like, am I doing it right? Like, are you happy? Am I messing up? Am I making you upset? Like he's looking to you for cues of approval, of acceptance. And what do? Right? You have this adorable little boy in front of you just wanting to make you happy, just wanting to please you, just wanting to see a smile on your face. Now, if you have a tender heart like me, you probably are looking at that little boy and praising him, right? You're thinking to yourself like, man, you're trying your best. It's not that great, but you're trying your best, and I want to honor your effort. I want to build up your confidence in yourself. I want to encourage you to keep on doing what you're trying to do. That is the topic that we are going to be diving into today. It is our ability to see our husbands with a childlike need for approval. And this is important for a lot of different reasons. Yesterday, we talked about our husband's humanness, how we want to see him as just a decent and good human being and a child of God, just like we are. Today, I want us to imagine our husbands as a little boy, as a very young and impressionable little boy who just wants to be told, you did a good job. I believe in you. Keep going. You're doing great. And when we have a heart that is soft and tender and full of grace and compassion towards our husbands, thinking about him in a more positive light becomes so much easier. And so this is hard for us, right? This is hard for us for a number of reasons. Number one, he's a grown man, right? So I painted this picture of this adorable little boy, and you're now looking at a grown man who, in your mind, should just know better. He should just know what to do, know how to do it the right way, at the right time. And if he could just get all that together, you would be pleased. But I think that it is so important for us to realize that our husbands, like all of us are little 4-year-old and 7-year-old kids walking around in adult bodies with issues that were created in our childhood. Hurts, feeling of rejection, feeling of being disapproved of, all of those issues in your own life that have shaped how you are now are also at play in your husband's life and are shaping how he is now. And so when we only see the man in front of us making the decisions and being the way that we see him right now, and neglect to think about all that has happened in his life from his very young childhood up until now that have shaped and molded him into this person who will make a mess of things, who won't get it right, who will disappoint us more than we ever imagine, we lose the ability to really be compassionate. And so today, our topic is really seeing our husbands as that small child who needs our approval. And what I want you to do is to enter a space of grace and compassion, just like you would for that tiny little boy who was going around just looking for your approval. Because here's what I do know. Here's what research shows. And I've seen this in my own marriage. I've seen this with my clients. Your husband wants your admiration, your approval, and your praise. I had to pause for a minute because I added the praise. Why did I add the praise? So, when was the last time you actually praised him? It may have been a while ago. And so I added the praise because that is what I want you to actually focus on today. I want you to focus on looking for ways to praise your husband. So the thought of the day today is, my husband desires my approval. And so if that is the belief you latch onto and hold on to, then praising him and encouraging him and giving him your approval and showing him that you admire him should be very easy. God's word reminds us that we should do this. In 1 Thessalonians, he says, therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. And so I want you to look at your husband today as the small little boy who just needs to be encouraged, who just needs to be built up, who just needs to receive your praise. And so hold on to that belief. My husband desires my approval. And build your mindset, build your evidence for all the ways that he really does seek your approval. At the end of the day, he just wants you to be happy. And I know in some instances that may be very difficult to believe, but I want you to just try it on. If you believed that, if you believed that he desires your approval, if you believe that he just wants you to be happy, how would you show up? Probably with a lot more grace and probably with a lot more compassion. And so I want you to look for evidence, find 5 examples over the past week or so where your husband has been looking for your approval, where he's done something, maybe hoping you would notice, or tried to do something just to make you happy, just to get your praise. And then I want you to give it to him. I want you to give him some praise today. Share something you really appreciate about him. Share something that you really value that he has done for you specifically. Okay? So the theme of the day, again, is our husbands have a childlike need for approval. The belief of the day is, my husband desires my approval. Your goal for the day is to think of 5 examples over the course of the past week where your husband has been maybe looking for or seeking your approval. And then today, I want you to give him some praise. I would love to know how this goes for you. So please be sure to let me know what aha moment, what this is meant to think about your husband in this way, and how it is impacting you and how you see him in your marriage. All right, bye for now. I'll be back with you tomorrow for the next challenge.